You've tuned into Soundcast Stereo. I'm Christopher Coleman. I'm on Channel 1, and I'm still in the 20th century of film music.
And I'm Kristen Romanelli from FSM Online. I'm on Channel 2, and I'm a 21st century digital boy.
Soundcast Stereo episodes are 2-channel 30-minute-ish conversations focused on a single topic in the world of film, television, or video game soundtracks. You can find all episodes of the Soundcast on iTunes, Stitch Radio, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts, 8cast, and on thesoundcast.com. You can send us all of your much-beloved feedback to soundcast@tracksounds.com or use our SpeakPipe widget on our site or hit us up on Twitter @TrackSounds or on Facebook.
Today is Tuesday, August 15th, 2017, and this is episode 21, where Christopher and I discuss the recent IndieWire article, The Top 12 Composers of the 21st Century, from Hans Zimmer to Nick Cave, and share our own favorite composers of the new millennium.
Well, hello, Kristen.
Hello, Christopher.
I just realized it's episode 21, and we're talking about an article about the 21st century. How fortuitous.
And 12 is 21 flipped back. Around.
That's true. For the dyslexic, we have something for everyone in this particular episode. So like a week ago, or just over a week ago, an article was published on IndieWire by Gabrielle Kiss, and it lists her top 12 composers of the 21st century. And that article got a lot of discussion on Twitter and probably on Facebook too. And I know my Twitter feed was nonstop discussion of this article, and mostly because the choices were, some were very predictable, and then some were like, what is your rationale for this choice? And her 12 were Hans Zimmer, Klaus Badelt, Javier Navarrete, Mika Levi, Nick Cave, and Warren Ellis. Do they count as two? I guess you combine them together. Marco Beltrami, Alexander Desplat, Johnny Greenwood, Leslie Barber, Cliff Martinez, and Carter Burwell. You can find the link to this article in the show notes if you'd like to read it for yourself. Kristen, what was your reaction to this article?
Stunned silence. No, not that dramatic. Although I did immediately copy and paste it into our running document for topics.
Yes.
Because it's an interesting list.
Yes. It was at the very least a serious head scratcher for a lot of folks.
Well, I just feel like it's a mix of recently in vogue composers.
Yeah.
With a couple people who were maybe in vogue at the very beginning of the 21st century.
Yes.
So I feel like the article took 2 slices of bread but had no meat or cheese or pickles or anything inside of it.
Yeah, I would somewhat agree. We left someone off. I left someone off. Ryuichi Sakamoto was also on her list. Yeah. It was that the meat and the cheese and the pickles were weird when reading some of the reasoning behind the choices.
Yeah.
It was like, huh? So now Gabrielle Kiss is not on this, is not with us. So it's hard to I don't mean she's dead. I just mean she's not on this podcast to really defend her choices. So, I don't.
Right. I don't want to rip on anybody's, personal opinion because what are we doing right now? So
right. Exactly.
We're about to give our personal opinion.
Exactly. And that's part of the discussion.
And you're going to get a million angry speak pipe calls. So.
Oh, I hope so. I'd love to hear it. I think our lists are going to be very different and very interesting to talk about. But, part of the problem is, when you call it the top 12, it comes off as authoritative. Like these are the top 12. It's not just who I think the top 12. It's the top 12.
Well, is IndieWire going to be authoritative about film music?
No, but they're pretty authoritative in general. I mean, they're a fairly well respected online news site, and so it comes off. You see it there, and people who are into the movie world will read this, and they're highly unlikely to come across an article on our site or on our podcast or on your site or your you know what I mean? They're more likely to come across it. And so me and Eric had a long discussion about this when we did our top scores of the 21st century on an earlier edition of Soundcast Stereo, which I'd encourage you to go back. Everyone listening to this, to go back and listen to that one. I forget now which episode it was. I'll tell you. It was episode 10 of the Soundcast Stereo. So that was back on... it's about almost a year ago. It was August 26, 2016. So I would encourage everyone to listen to that episode too, because that stemmed from another article that was published, I think, on the playlist that kind of got us up in arms. And so we did our list. So here we are again going to do that. If nothing else, these articles get people talking. They certainly get the film music community talking, and bring some attention to the art of film music composition. So that's good. Whether or not we agree with the author's list of personal choices, basically. So we're going to give our own personal choices in the 25 minutes or so that we have left. We're going to kind of do it just like Eric and I did it back in episode 10, where we're going to try to guess who's on each other's list. Now, before we do that, we should probably say how we have defined our choices, what the criteria, or that will help us guess each other's list, and also make it clearer to our listeners on how did this person or that person get on the list, or maybe not get on the list. So why don't you, Kristen, define your criteria first?
Okay, well, I was extremely subjective. I first went with, who are my favorites, and what do I remember them writing in the 21st century that's blew me away. Mm-hmm. And then I also included composers who are doing new, interesting, or exciting music that, mm-hmm. Sort of refuels my faith in film music.
Yeah.
And also maybe the potential to continue to do that.
Okay. All right, that's interesting. It's different from how I've defined it slightly. I've also chosen some favorites, but not without some justification still behind that. I've picked some based on the quality of their work, even though they may have not done a ton during this particular century. I've picked some on pure volume. I mean, it's not a volume of garbage. It's a volume of pretty good to very good stuff. And they've done a lot of it. The loudest?
Volume?
Ah, yes. Well, yes, you might find some of those too. So they're not necessarily my personal favorites or even ones that I might listen to a lot. Some are. I would say I listen to all of these to some degree with some frequency and consistency, but there are some that I'm gonna be listening to a lot more than some of these others. Mm-hmm. So that's our criteria for these choices. So before you blast us for our picks, please make sure you've heard what we've just said, and then if you want to blast us, please do. Okay?
Right. And I didn't take anyone on like a single score alone that I loved, because I could easily do that and we would have a whole mess of people.
Yes. And I do have a couple that were I had to take someone off the list. And so there's two I had to move off. So I'm going to mention them at the end, some honorable mentions, and you can do the same if you have some.
I will do that.
All right. So you can go first. You can take a guess at a composer. And our lists are not ranked. They're on our list somewhere. They are not ranked. So, okay, take a guess who is someone who's on my list.
This is fun. This is kind of like categories, you know. If someone's on my list and on your list, we'll cross it off.
It's been so long since I played categories. I don't remember the rules.
Okay, I need to go with the eternal favorite, John Williams, just to get him out of the way.
Yes, absolutely. He's on the list, and I think justifiably so.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, he's got some of my favorite scores of the new Millennium, which would include Adventures of Tintin. Love that score. I think it might be my favorite of his since in the decade. Let's say that this decade is probably my favorite of his. Memoirs of a Geisha, probably my favorite of his in this new Millennium. He got War of the Worlds that same year. He also had Munich in 2005. He had 3 2005. So still, especially in the earlier part of this Millennium, very productive and with the high quality that we would expect from John Williams. Is he on your list?
He is certainly on my list. AI.
Oh, yes.
Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, Sorcerer's, like the whole Harry Potter.
All Harry Potter, yeah.
Like he had a powerhouse beginning of the century.
Yes.
And then he gets, quieter with, Warhorse, Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we get back into The Force Awakens with Rey's theme, which is my favorite theme still.
Of all time or of Star Wars?
Or recently.
Okay. Okay. Of recently. Okay.
That's all we can really do. I mean, when we love so much, right?
It's true. It's the favorite of the moment. I get it. I totally get it. Okay. All right. Yeah. He's fully justified being on that list. I'll just point out, was not on the IndieWire list.
And they acknowledge that he's not on the list.
Yes, they did.
But they follow it up with, these people are better. They didn't say that, but basically, they used the phrase cream of the crop. And I was like, John Williams is more than that.
He's the cream of the crop. But a little too creamy for them, I think. They weren't into the extra creamy.
Too popular. John Williams. Everyone knows John Williams. Yeah, because he's awesome.
They were trying to be like, we're going to deep cut it here.
We're going to deep cut it and add 2 women composers because we have to be PC.
All right, so
at me on that. I'm a girl.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't going to say that. I'm glad you did. So I'm going to guess on yours. And I'm going to guess Carter Burwell. So you can get him out of the way. Go ahead and give us your spiel.
Yep.
Because he's not on my list.
My spiel is, I love Carter Burwell. I love his pared down aesthetic. I love his approach. I find him incredibly intelligent, and I get excited whenever I hear his music. That is why he's
like fist pump excited, or
just like this is intellectually complex music.
Okay.
I love Anomalisa. I loved his work on Seven Psychopaths. I love True Grit. I love,
I like True Grit a lot.
Oh my gosh, even Twilight. God help me. God help me.
Yes.
And
quickly.
I will never ever stop wanting a Carter Burwell Thor 2.
Okay, so Carter Burwell. All right, your turn.
Okay, let's see. Howard Shore.
Yes. Absolutely.
Me too.
3 Lord of the Rings, 3 Hobbit, King Kong. If he did nothing else during this...
King Kong.
Oh, doggone it. He didn't.
That was James Newton Howard.
That's right. All right. Anyway, even without King Kong, those 6 scores, and The Hobbit continues to grow on me the further I get away from remembering the films themselves. The scores are fantastic. They really are. If the films had been really good, we'd be talking about The Hobbit score in a lot more in a lot different way. So if it's just those 6 movies,
those alone, like,
yes,
go out and read everything Doug Adams has written about those scores.
Probably the most impacting scores of this millennium.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so dense and rich in their material.
Yes. I mean, nothing else comes close this millennium.
Not. No.
And so had it only been the LOTR, he would still be on that list, strongly on that list. Mm-hmm. And of course not on the IndieWire list.
Nope. Not even mentioned in the "Hey, we didn't mention these guys." Yeah.
Kind of sad. Okay, my turn to guess on yours. I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess Marco Beltrami.
Yes.
Oh, wow. He's not on mine, but go for it.
Okay.
Tell us why.
Okay. He has some of my favorite music from the early part of the century. So, I, Robot, Hellboy, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And even though he has kind of mellowed out on stuff, and there's some controversy surrounding his composition practices right now, I still adore the man and his music. And when he gets excited about making a score, he goes all out in creating something. The Homesman, where he and Buck Sanders actually created an instrument that was played outside and recorded outside, and he takes these concepts and he somehow engineers them into this weird reality, and I wish he had more opportunities and time and money and whatever else to do that, because there's a brilliant mind in there for sure, and I would love to see it come out even more. And oh, by God, I love his Western scores. I love 3:10 to Yuma.
I always like his scores. There's few that I love, but I generally like his scores. But he's not on my list.
That's a shame, but I can absolutely see that. I thought about maybe taking him out, but I was like, no, you love iRobot too much. You love Hellboy too much. Like, those were the ones that got me on the Beltrami train.
Yeah, I think Hellboy might be my favorite of his. I think. There was one a couple years ago that was completely it was from one of those YA films. The one with the one with something that had to do with, like, everything was in black and white, and then the kid was a special kid, so he started seeing color or something. I can't remember. The Giver.
Oh, The Giver.
The Giver. I like that score a lot.
I like that score a lot too. Terrible adaptation of the book.
Oh, I didn't read the book. I saw the film.
I really enjoyed the score. Oh, also Snowpiercer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah,
really,
solid work.
Really, really solid.
Yeah. I did consider putting him on the list, but not for a real long time. There was too many that I had to get on there.
Yes.
Okay. Your turn. What do you think?
Alexandre Desplat?
Negatory.
Okay.
Negatory.
Do I get another guess?
No, you don't. Now I get to say one.
Okay.
No, actually, no. Is he on your list?
He is on my list.
Okay. All right. I guess you can tell us why. He's obviously not on mine.
I love his sense of fun with everything.
His sense of fun. That's
oh my
interesting.
God. Grand Budapest? Oh.
But that seems like the outlier. I mean, it seems like the stuff I like of his the most is the minimalist stuff.
Valerian is fun.
Yeah, it is. It is. That score got poisoned by the movie. I haven't been able to listen to it since I saw the film.
Oh, I liked the movie.
You did? Okay.
It was such a polarizing movie.
I fell asleep. It's the second quasi sci-fi film I've fallen asleep in the last year.
Really? Wow.
The first being Rogue One.
I almost did that during Rogue One also.
On opening night, the very first showing, I fell asleep. And then in this, I was just bored. The character's so flat. I was just, this is not.
Yes, the characters are really bad. I loved it for other reasons.
The visuals were nice.
Yeah.
I loved the first 25% of that film. The stuff with the aliens on their planet and all of that was very cool. As soon as they went to the two main stars, I was like, I'm out. They were just terrible. Completely miscast. So that poisoned the score for me, unfortunately.
All right. Well, I liked it a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun. And I find his work with Wes Anderson in general to be incredibly fun. And he doesn't shy away from doing weird stuff like whipping out the bouzouki. And he is also one of the great symphonic writers that we have left. So
True. He probably should be on my list, but nah. just couldn't get him there.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll slide him as an honorable mention.
Yep. So this is the second one that I've chosen that was also on the list that we're decrying. So
oh sure, okay, okay. So they had some things in common. All right. Wow, we're running out of time. Okay, so my turn to guess. I guess yes. Michael Giacchino.
No.
What?
I know.
How's that possible?
Because he's like, he's in my list of people that I was like, shit, I should put them on the list, but I didn't put them on the list.
I mean, the sheer volume. Now, has he done the greatest stuff this century? Maybe not, but the volume of so much, and then it's all pretty doggone good for the most part. That's significant. I think he's been the busiest guy this century. I think I counted him up in episode 10, and that was a year ago. So he's obviously done a lot more since then. And it was just like
I would probably gladly swap him out with one of my other guys.
Desplat.
I don't know.
He replaced him on Rogue One, so there's some
oh my gosh.
There. There's some symmetry right there.
You're right.
There is a little symmetry there. I mean, I'm just looking at his credit list, and it's just insane when you look at it. It's insane.
We said we would forget someone obvious, and I suppose that's mine.
And as much as you loved War for the Planet of the Apes, didn't you love it, or was that?
Oh my gosh! Yes, I loved it.
Yeah.
But I said I wasn't basing this on one score alone. But
no, but I mean, you've got Spider-Man, you've got Doctor Strange. Did you like Doctor Strange's score?
I thought it was okay.
Okay, see, I like that better than I think I liked it.
But I loved Inside Out. So
yeah, it's good. Jupiter Ascending, still my top score of his.
Yes. Oh my gosh, he did do that.
Yeah, he did. Then you got Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Tomorrowland's pretty good score.
Yeah, okay, you're right. I'm a big dummy.
You've got The Incredibles. You got John Carter, Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, Super 8. Got Up, Star Trek, Speed Racer.
The bulk of his career.
Say again?
The bulk of his career.
What is the bulk of his career?
In this century.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. So he's an easy make on my list. Okay, your turn to guess.
Alan Silvestri?
Alan Silvestri? No.
I don't know. I was just throwing something out there. He's not on my list either. Okay.
All right. Yeah. I mean, Avengers.
I didn't mean to offend you.
No, you didn't. You didn't. I was thinking he was going to be on your list. So I was like, okay, I want to hear this justification.
No.
The Walk. I really like The Walk. I think that was a great score of his this millennium. But
yeah, well,
you didn't like that score. I take it.
He did What Lies Beneath, which I love.
Was that this century?
That was in 2000, which is why I asked that question. That was
right.
The exact
so then, was Castaway in 2000 as well?
I don't know. I thought that was the 90s.
If so, it was like 99.
Hmm.
They were very close together, those two scores. Okay, my turn. Okay. Oh, no, this won't be on yours, but I'm surprised you haven't guessed it for mine yet. James Newton Howard.
No.
Oh, interesting. He's on my...
And I love him, too.
You got The Last Airbender. I know, horrible film, but just a fantastic score.
Yeah, he's done some fantastic
Dark
scores.
Knight.
Maleficent.
Yeah, Maleficent, Water Horse. All the Dark Knight stuff. King Kong, who I gave wrong credit to earlier. The Village.
Was that this century?
2004, yeah. Treasure Planet.
That's a really good one.
Signs. Unbreakable. Dinosaur. It's a pretty freaking amazing. Blood Diamond.
Yeah, yep. Definite.
Great Debaters. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, he made the list. He made the list. Okay. Who guessed? I guessed that. You guessed that. I can't remember.
You guessed it, and neither of us had it.
I have it.
You have it? Oh, right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah. So your turn to guess.
My turn. John Powell?
Yes.
Yes, me too.
Yes, he was a late entry because I'd forgotten about him. And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot John Powell. We got crucified for not having John Powell on this list.
Wow.
Easy pick, actually.
Yeah.
A very easy pick. Not on their list. They'll probably be kicking themselves after the Han Solo film comes out. But even without that, so many amazing scores. Kung Fu Panda trilogy. Oh, he wasn't on the third one, but at least the first two with Hans Zimmer. I've been recently going back to Mars Needs Moms. That's a really great score.
And he did that. He sort of defined that minimalist sound that kind of started permeating a lot of action films, the Bourne sound.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, doing serious and minimalist, he does grand and huge and fun and madcap.
Yep. It's very true. I'm not a big fan of I know a lot of people love the Bourne series scores. I think they're fine, but they're not something that I go back and listen to very often.
Me neither, but I think it shows range and influence.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that influenced so much in the way things are scored that it can't be ignored. Absolutely.
I love his madcap side. Chicken Run.
Yes.
I love that stuff.
Evolution, I love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do like his minimalism.
Was Rat Race him?
Yeah, he did Rat Race, 2001. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I do like I Am Sam. That's a kind of a minimalist score.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was done very well. Yeah, so much. X-Men Last Stand, great X-Men score. Bolt, I love the Bolt score. What else?
Also, he's hilarious.
How to Train Your Dragon, of course.
Yep.
Yeah. So, what were you gonna say?
I said also he's hilarious.
Oh, right, right. So yeah, he's on this list easily. Mm-hmm. I think I'm out of guesses. Let's just go through who we have left. Okay. So give me one of your. I've asked all the most obvious have come out, I think.
Okay. Well, I just noticed that I only have 11 on my main list, so I'm going to put Michael Giacchino in there.
Okay, you saved yourself.
I saved myself. Let's see. I put down Clint Mansell.
Oh, okay. He's not on mine. Oh. I thought about it though.
Yeah.
Definitely thought about it. And why?
I love his work consistently. Pretty much since 2000 on, everything he's done, I have thoroughly enjoyed. He is weird and dissonant and wonderful.
Weird, dissonant, and wonderful. Not too many people get to say that about themselves. All right, Clint Mansell.
Yeah, since Requiem for a Dream, he has been like right on my radar. And lately, his San Junipero, Black Mirror stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Was he? Yeah, he was on the IndieWire list.
Was he? No, Cliff Martinez was.
Oh, Cliff Martinez. Always get those two mixed up.
Common mistake. I also like Cliff, but oh man, Mansell takes me for a ride.
Okay, all right, I can see that. I did consider him.
All right,
didn't quite make it. All right, let me shake things up a little bit. I put Junkie XL on this list.
I like Tom.
I think in terms of impact, I think he's had a significant impact in the trend of contemporary action scoring, along with his buddy. But yeah, and I still enjoy Deadpool. I enjoy that Deadpool score a lot because it's fun, and I like the 80s throwback vibe. I like all that stuff. He's done stuff that was very, some of his stuff in Mad Max Fury Road is beautiful, and you would never guess that it was Junkie XL. Maybe that was the Tom Holkenborg part coming out. Just some beautiful work in that score, and I just think he's had a very significant impact in film music trends. Mostly, yeah, I'd say in the last, 8 years or so, or maybe 7 or 8 years, he's started to have impact, and so I have to put him on the list.
And that is your choice. No, you're absolutely right, and I love his philosophy of sharing knowledge openly, and he's incredibly smart. The way he will talk through his process and everything, he's great to listen to and great to talk to, and
okay, all right, give us another legit one. Give us another one on your list.
Dario Marianelli.
Oh, darn it! There's the one. I knew I was gonna miss at least one. Holy moly!
And he's on my list for that reaction.
I feel horrible. I knew it was gonna happen. I tried so hard not to have that happen, and with him especially. How in the world could I do that? Yeah, absolutely should be on my list, but he's not.
Gorgeous work.
Yeah. Yes. It gets better all the time.
Yes. I mean, Kubo.
Yeah.
Why did Kubo not get more recognition last year?
No idea.
My God.
The movie itself, nothing. It didn't even get Best Animated, which it should have.
I don't understand.
I don't either.
Kubo, gorgeous. Box Trolls, gorgeous.
Yep. Absolutely agree. What's the one, the World War II one? The one with Dunkirk in it. The Atonement.
Yeah.
The Atonement, yeah. Or Atonement. Love that score. Love that film. Yes. Love that score. The Dunkirk scene still is the definition of Dunkirk for me. Mm-hmm. Musically, because, well, you can't really, what can you say? Good call. Excellent call. He should have easily been on my list, but
yes. Rhymes with my last name too, so.
So you have an excuse to remember, and I don't. All right, really good call on that. We're running long, so I'm going to dive into my next one. I know you're not going to like it, but Hans Zimmer is on my list. Just way too much productivity and impact in trend.
If we were talking producers, I would absolutely agree.
Well, since I don't know, I can't delineate what he's actually done in terms of the composing and not. It's hard. I don't know. So I just have to give him credit.
Absolutely. He has mentored some of the hardest working, biggest name people at the moment.
Yes, that's absolutely true.
That absolutely should be recognized.
Yeah, his impact has been massive. Even if you take aside the mentor part, but just at least what's credited to him is seriously long. I mean, 2000, you start with Gladiator. It's just, I mean, he's just hammered it with very commercially successful score after commercially successful score, and trend-setting score after trend-setting score. And that is, I don't know anyone else doing that on such a consistent basis. So he easily makes on my list. Give us another one. I think I have maybe 3 left.
Yes, me too, I think. 1, 2, yes, 3. Okay. I have the late Shirley Walker.
Oh, interesting. Did she have a what? Yeah, I guess early in the Millennium.
On.
Yeah. Good call.
Yeah.
Very good call.
Yeah.
Was the Flash series in 2000s?
No, that was in the 90s.
That was before. So her Batman work, her DC Batman work?
Also in the 90s.
So what'd she do in the 2000s?
Willard.
Why do I not know Willard?
Because you are sad.
No,
I'm sorry.
What was that? Was that a TV film?
No.
It's a feature film?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. I don't think I've ever heard it.
Look it up.
I will. Was it released?
Yes.
Okay. I will look it up.
Yeah.
I will look it up. All right. I have on my list Henry Jackman. I know you're not going to love that, but... No.
I think I've described myself on your show as one of the few members of the Henry Jackman fan club.
Okay.
So...
I can't remember who... It feels like most people, at least that come on the show, are not huge fans. But I think he's had a pretty... I mean, he's burst on the scene, mid-2000s, really. So he's really been 10 years worth, but he's done a lot of work. He's got a lot of big titles under his belt. And I think he's done pretty good work, pretty diverse work as well. Yeah. And I mean, X-Men First Class, one of my favorite of all the X-Men scores.
Yeah. Goddamn if I don't love Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, I like Wreck-It Ralph.
Big Hero 6.
Yeah, I like Big Hero 6. I'm a fan of his Captain America stuff, both Winter Soldier and Civil War. I know that it gets like that. But I really like both of those scores quite a bit. Yeah, I think there's a lot of road ahead of him in this millennium. But I think he's done enough to get on this list, and he's had enough impact to get on this list. He was one that I flirted with switching out with others, but in the end, I kept him on.
Yeah.
I kept him on.
No, he's a good one. You know, not a lot of people would agree, but when he is allowed to be himself, to just like take the chains off and not do explicitly what he's told, he's brilliant.
Yeah. I think he's done some inventive stuff. And I really like his Winnie the Pooh score, which no one ever talks about.
Yeah!
That score is great. That's a great score.
It is.
All right. Give us another one of yours.
Okay, so this gets into my people who I feel have incredible potential.
Okay.
Abel Korzeniowski.
Oh, yeah. Good call.
Yes.
Good call. Yeah, he's had some significant works this century.
Beautiful work.
Yeah. Very good call.
Yeah, just sumptuous work. Love it.
Yeah. Yep. I could see him making my list. It didn't even come to mind, which is sad. Okay. Another one from me is I'll save that one. Joe Hisaishi. He made my list. I debated a little bit, but
I like that choice.
Spirited Away, of course, you've got in 2001. You've got Departures. You have, this Millennium hasn't been his top stuff, but there's some good stuff. Wind Rises. Mm-hmm. You have the work that he did on video game Ni no Kuni, which is just classic Joe Hisaishi stuff.
Well, it's stuff where, whenever you hear his name, you look forward to it, really.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Ponyo, 2008.
Yeah.
And there's one. Oh, the TV series he did, that Korean TV series. What was the name of that series? I listened to that all the time. There's two volumes of it. I don't see it here on his IMDb list. Something about the gods. Four Gods, I think it's called Four Gods, or the Four Wind Gods, or some Four Gods. Anyway, fantastic thematic work in that for that TV show. So, Howl's Moving Castle, 2004. So he's he doesn't get all that much talk in the West compared to the other guys we've been talking about, but definitely should in terms of his thematic writing.
Mm-hmm. All right, last one on my list.
Oh, I think I have two more.
Oh.
How is that possible? Anyway, go ahead.
Because I added Michael Giacchino in my empty slot.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because I cheated. So this one was also potential, but also, some work he had done on television. Bear McCreary.
Oh, good call. Yeah, good call.
I'm waiting for him to be huge.
I'm surprised he hasn't yet.
Yeah.
He's huge TV-wise. He does so many TV shows.
TV-wise, and definitely genre-wise.
Yeah.
Like, there's a certain segment of people who know Bear McCreary.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you get outside of that, it's like, okay, he's named after an animal. He's
definitely deserving. He's definitely deserving.
Yeah, for sure.
Good call. And his last feature film was this year.
Oh yeah.
Colossal.
Yep.
Yeah, and last year he had
10 Cloverfield Lane, which
10 Cloverfield Lane. That's right.
The blaster beam in that. Oh, amazing.
Yep. I guess he'll be getting more and more, I think, in the feature film world. I'm just surprised he hasn't done more. Okay, good call. Another Japanese composer I'm going to drop, my second to last one, is Naoki Sato, who is like as prolific as Michael Giacchino, but across TV video games and feature films, but his work for television stuff is just, his thematic stuff is just phenomenal. When we're doing the Q Awards every year, Richard would nominate him, and we'd listen to his stuff, and it's like, man, how does this guy write such amazing music time after time after time after time? I mean, beautiful thematic stuff. Just, I don't know where it comes from, but he's got a huge reservoir of seriously emotional thematic music, and so he actually easily makes my list. And if I was ranking, he might be close to the top in terms of the volume and the quality too that comes in through his work. So Naoki Sato, and then last, because you did your last one, right?
I did.
You did. So last one for me was a little bit of a struggle, but not that much struggle, and that's James Horner.
Yes.
Because if I look at his portfolio starting in 2000, there's a good number of scores in there that are pretty amazing. A Beautiful Mind. What was the other one? You got Apocalypto. You've got Avatar, of course. You've got what's the one? Oh, House of Sand and Fog, which is one of my favorites of his. Just a fantastic film and a fantastic score to fit. You got Wind Talkers, Four Feathers. So much,
Yeah.
So at first, it wasn't like you got Wolf's Totem. It wasn't like a slam dunk when I thought him. I said, man, I need to look and see what he did so far. And I think once I did, I was like, yeah,
I did too. And after my honorable mentions, I just made a note that says, bring back Jerry Goldsmith, Michael Kamen, and James Horner. We lost them all this century. And what a loss. Huge loss.
All of them, huge losses. And I think that's it. You have any other honorable mentions?
Yeah, I have Joe Kramer.
Oh, good call.
Yep.
Okay.
Christoph Beck.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Yep. And Jeff Russo.
Oh, yeah. TV-wise.
Oh, TV-wise. He does amazing work, man.
He does.
As soon as he was announced for Star Trek, I was like, God damn it, I'm back in.
Yeah. Well,
I was ready to write that thing off.
I'm back in for the score anyway.
Damn.
Still, when I'm hearing about the series, I'm not down for it, but the score I'm definitely down for.
I'm so down for him doing a Star Trek score.
Yeah, it should be amazing. My honorable mentions: Taro Iwashiro, another Japanese composer. He's written some of my favorite scores of this millennium. Red Cliff being maybe the top of those. Just fantastic work. Lorne Balfe, I think, quite prolific these days. I really love his score for the Lego Batman movie. I think that's just fantastic work. So much
fun.
Yep, absolutely fun. So and some of his smaller scores I really enjoy too.
Yeah, he's done some really nice documentary work too.
Yep, he absolutely has. Girl Rising. He was on it with Rachel Portman, I think, right? I'm pretty sure.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, and both their work on that is quite good. And I think there's a lot left in this millennium for him as well. And I think I had one more. Did I have one more honorable mention? Nope, that's it. That's our list.
Yeah, and of course now I'm like thinking like so many more names are like coming at me. I'm like, no, I need to stop somewhere.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, Dario Marinelli, that's going to haunt me, not putting him on my list. But I would have if I was smart.
Hey, I had Shikino.
You had an extra spot, so you lucked out. But that's our 12 favorite composers of the new millennia. We'd love to know what your 12 are. And there's lots of ways you can let us know. What do you think about our list, though? What do you think of the IndieWire list? Do you agree with Gabrielle Kiss's list, Kristen's list, Chris's list? There's a theme in there. Kiss, Kristen, and Kiss. No, Chris. Chris. Anyway, it's getting late, obviously. Let us know what you think of our list, and then let us know who'd be on your list. Did we miss someone significant like Dario Marinelli or Michael Giacchino? If we did, please make sure you let us know who we missed so we can repent. And you can do that by emailing us at soundcast@tracksounds.com. Hit that SpeakPipe widget on our site, or on Twitter at TrackSounds, or on Facebook. If you want to contact me directly, for whatever reason, you can do so at C. Coleman on Twitter. Kristen, how can people get a hold of you and give you their lists?
The easiest way to find me is on Twitter at KB4Now. That's KBFORNOW. And you can find Film Score Monthly online at fsmonlinemag.com.
Awesome. All right, well, that's going to wrap up episode 21 of Soundcast Stereo. I don't remember my closing line for this episode, so we'll just say see ya.